You know we belong together. You and I forever and ever. No matter where you are, you're my guiding star.
I'm out of tune.
And from the very first moment I saw you, I never felt such emotion. I'm walking on air just to know you are there. Hold me in your arms, don't let me go. I want to stay forever, closer each day. Home and away, let me be the one that you turn to.
All the words
you can rely on, closer each day. Home and away. You're listening to the Russel Brand podcast, accompanied by Mr. G and Matt on Pipes and Vibes.
Did you sign on in the 90s?
But what I'm doing now is working 9 to effing 5 to what a way to make a living. Here we are in the studios of XFM making a podcast for Audio Boom. If you want to communicate with me and Matthew Morgan, then you can do. Russell and Matt at audioboom.com. Many people have sent us many emails. Matt, and this is from the competition winner who got the poem, the geezer that was a policeman. He says, we sent him one of G's poems. He says, hello, wow, that's made my day. Thank you so much. Much love to you all, Pete. Pete there, the policeman, sending us that email because he got G's poem. You too could win G's poem if your email or contribution is the one that we turn to. Someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away. Like the theme tune and the sentiments in the home and away thing. So what do you think about that, Matt?
Why do you think that, you don't have to pay for theme tunes as opposed to pop songs?
So. I don't think it has
I'm pretty sure you do.
I don't know.
No?
Well, we're in a lot of trouble. We're singing shit songs for no reason. I don't think so. Like if there's no viability to it. Matt, you know what I'm doing later on?
Opening a cafe.
I've already opened a cafe.
Oh, have you? Closing a cafe.
That's right. I'm reading out one of Che Guevara's letters. And here is that. Can I have a practice on you?
What do you mean you're reading it out? Who to?
Load of people for an event called Letters Live, where you read out letters.
Live?
Yeah, famous letters in history.
Okay.
Here's one.
Not the whole thing.
It's not that long a letter.
Go on then.
Why are you approaching this letter from Che Guevara to his children?
Che Guevara is not a reader. I mean a listener of our podcast.
Yeah, but a lot of his fans, mate, are well into
Wasn't
this
he a
shit.
really bad person?
He was a bit violent, but I mean, they were tough times.
Homophobic? Murderer?
He was a bit homophobic. He did murder some people. One man's freedom fighter is another man's Che Guevara.
Go on and read his letter.
To my children, dear Hildita, Aldita, Camillo, Celia, and Ernesto. That was his own name, of course. If you ever have to read this letter, it will be because I'm no longer with you. Or, he might have said, because you're Russel Brand doing it as a podcast item. You practically will not remember me, and the smaller ones will not remember me at all. Your father's been a man who acted on his beliefs and has certainly been loyal to his convictions. Grow up as good revolutionaries. Study hard so you can master technology, which allows us to master nature. Remember that the revolution is what's important, and each one of us alone is worth nothing. Above all, always be capable of feeling deeply any injustice committed against anyone, anywhere in the world. This is the most beautiful quality in a revolutionary. Until forever, my children, I still hope to see you. A great big kiss and a big hug from Papa. That's Che Guevara's letters to his kids.
But who gets the hat?
okay,
Okay, Dad, but who gets the hat?
Give me a
That's, hang on, if he brought about a revolution, why was he still telling them they'd do a revolution against his revolution?
No, he wants it to spread it everywhere. I mean, he only wound up dying because he'd done a successful revolution in Cuba, went off to Bolivia trying to cause revolutions, the Congo trying to cause revolutions, but the conditions weren't set up in an economically viable way for revolution in either of those places. In the Congo, it's bloody madness. They'd agreed to do a revolution for like a party that they thought was socialist over there in the Congo. They got there, it was just like a boat, met him on a speedboat. He said literally with a cigar hanging out his mouth and like a couple of birds in bikinis. And Che Guevara was, well, hang on a second, we're committed to all this, you lot of playboys. And then Bolivia, things were actually quite nice in Bolivia, so when the revolution was going, there weren't such, people weren't so into it.
If he was around now, what do you think he'd be saying or doing?
I think he'd be kicking off, wouldn't he? I mean, the thing is he's belonged to a different time and a different place, didn't he? Militarised times. I mean, there was no doubt about it. If you read a bit about Che Guevara, there was a lot of brutality went on, a lot of homophobia and a lot of murders. But if I'm hero worshipping someone, I hero worship the bits of them I like. I don't go, oh, then they done these terrible things. Just
If
Swerve
I'm
it.
hero worship, like you set aside some time. 9 till 10, I'll do a bit of hero worshipping.
Righto, we'll start with an hour of hero worship on Che Guevara.
I'll do
Then.
Fred Weston. I'll ignore the bad stuff.
But bloody hell, what people do ignore is that he had a lovely patio.
People are very quick to condemn. Come on, that's all right. We all know murder's wrong. I mean,
Russell,
Yep.
let's.
Why don't we do a
talk
jingle
about that.
before you get wade in?
Go on then.
Do a jingle.
Oh shit, 2 o'clock at once.
Oh my god, he can't even play a jingle. It's
I
like
can.
jingles. Who's jingles?
Podcast.
Weird.
That was I remixed 2 jingles together.
No, you didn't. That's not a remix. Don't try and pass yourself off as Aphex Twin.
Remix.
You didn't remix nothing. That was chaos. That was Audio Boom in chaos. XFM on the ropes. Do another one. Do you want
trying to
see if you can do
retake
it
it.
properly?
You're
we've
listening
had
to
that
the
already.
Russel
Oh my
Brand
God.
Cute.
podcast.
This
I
is a
just press them
shambles.
randomly. I don't try and.
Russel Brand, he has a podcast with his buddy Matthew and on demand. Russel Brand can understand you have read a dictionary unlike G-Man.
Nice
Lovely.
jingle. Who was it? You don't.
Number
even-
6. It's
Now,
fucking
number
list.
6. That's cardboard hit. It's 14 seconds.
Why ask
Yes.
when you know?
Because I thought you were running that item.
I'm not running anything. I'm running this into the ground.
You really are. Go on. What's this thing you want to read out to us then?
Someone called Metamagical 3.
Yeah.
Could be I don't know, 3 people. Russell's idea of reverse plagiarism has itself been reverse plagiarised by a French avant-garde literary group called the Oulipo. The sneaky bastards were going around calling it anticipatory plagiarism right back in the 20th century.
Even reverse plagiarism has already been reverse plagiarised.
Bonkers.
This is the end of history. Nothing is new. Nothing is novel. Nothing is original, except perhaps this. Husband claims his wife is nagging him from beyond the grave about her slippers. If you have crossed over to the other side, you've left your mortal body, you're experiencing dimensions new, why are you still going to be worried about slippers?
Domestic affairs.
Surely at death. Because often when people are bothering me for holidays, I say, now look, you'll get a holiday when you're dead.
Hang on, who's bothering you for holidays? Your cafe gone that far already?
Could we have a break now, please, Russell?
What about in the grave? You'll be relaxed there. Plenty of time for laying still in your coffin. You'll be there soon enough. Now mine's a cappuccino. Come along. That bun's not going to frost itself.
Now, is it?
Are you, do you want to talk about your cafe?
Talk about a calf.
Yeah.
All right.
So you opened it. I was meant to come, but
I thought, where were you?
a little place called Bed.
Oh, well, you should have been in a little place called Calf.
I know.
It was the joint was jumping. It was jiving. There was people gathered outside.
Big fun.
There's big fun. See, there's G endorsing it from the perspective of a man who got right out of the bed and turned up at the calf. Those kindness offensive people turned out in a big colourful bus. Too many media. I mean, it does become a spectacle in the end. Like, because there's so many media, so many cameras, that the actual event itself becomes meaningless. The event becomes the recording of the event. It's not got any authentic reality. I saw friends, people that I care about and have known for a long time, couldn't get in because there was just a big crowd of people. It was stupid. Not G though. He hustled right to the front, dragging someone from Brixton Radio or prison.
National Prison Radio.
He come hustling right up, eh?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I was hoping that idea would go away.
There was a guy that I wanted to meet called Clint. I'll give him a shout out because I knew him when he was inside, and now he's outside working for the radio station.
See, that's a good thing. And that's why we think we should do a podcast inside a prison.
Or a cafe.
Giving the kicks from behind the bricks. It's me, Russ and Matt.
like
Yeah.
I like that.
Me, Russ and Matt.
Oh, I am Russ. I did it from the perspective of G. I was just looking at G, and I thought, which one am I? Who am I?
Jumped into his brain box.
I just quantum leaped into my body, G. Oh no! A quantum fit now. I just referenced quantum leap. What's wrong with my frame of references? They must know
Do you
something.
watch
that's
Gladiators on Saturday night?
All right. I see that very unfortunately Zayn has left the One Directions, and that's a real kick in the snout for us fans. Because he was only my second favourite one. After Niall, I like him much more than Dipsy, and twice as half as much as Dinkleboobs. I liked I mean, they're good lads. I'm actually, sometimes I get a phone call from one of One Direction.
Do you?
Louis. That's one of them.
That's their manager, isn't it? Louis, the old bloke from Ireland.
That's him. He needs a lot of advice. Helped him get rid of a body once. Yeah, go on. I thought, Matthew, we decided after the brilliant episode where I regaled you with Hollywood yarns,
I know,
that we were going to do Hollywood-style chats here on our podcast.
And you've just started husband's wife is...
I know.
From beyond the
crap.
grave.
It's absolute cobblers, isn't it? Now, why don't you quiz me, a man who's... You've seen me on chat shows. Say I'm on Jonathan Ross with Keanu Reeves. Brilliant. Did you watch it? Of course you didn't.
I bet you called him Keanu.
I did, actually.
What did he say? That's not my name.
He don't mind. He's like, and it's my favourite bit, and I noticed it didn't make it to the show. Like, he said something, because like, there was a lass on there from Hull, Lucy Beaumont, comedian from Hull, and he kept asking about Hull, Jonathan was. Then he's asking Keanu Reeves about Hull, in this sort of kind of quasi-ironic way. And I goes, what's that, because of the burp?
Yeah.
And I goes like...
that little piglet.
Yeah, but I goes, you can't keep asking Keanu about, like, you know, he was just staring into space. I mean, like, you can see why he's good at playing Neo.
Even if you talk to him about The Matrix.
He just stares into space. Anyway, that's what he's good. He's like a silent movie star because he looks like he's got a Christ-like pure consciousness, I think, Keanu Reeves.
Right. Oh, he's thick.
Don't be mean to Keanu, mate. Oh, not old Keanu. I goes to Jonathan. He don't even know what's happening. He's been famous since he's 12. He's living in a sort of a orb of white light now. It's interesting being there. Him, Ollie Murs, and I nicked Ollie Murs' phone for a bit. It didn't go over well. You know,
on the show? I didn't see it.
He dropped it down about that weren't on the show. They cut it out. Loads of things were cut out. Most of my bits, but they left it down. Like he got up, and if you know you have to sit and pretend to be in a bloody green room. I mean, that's what I mean. The spectacle, nothing's real. The opening of a cafe, not
that's
real.
Showbiz, baby. That's why you went to drama school.
I don't like it. I want things that are real.
Do you?
No, but
You
some
want
things
to appear more real
could
than
they
that.
appear more real? No, actually, I do want. Don't you think all of us are craving authenticity, legitimate, genuine experience, rather than everything being a facsimile, a simulacrum? Is that the word?
I don't know.
Simulacrum.
It's a word.
Something that's repeated so many times that it don't seem real no more. It's lost its original meaning.
Yeah, no, I'm crying out for that too.
You're crying out for it, baby. You
Yeah.
want, so like, you know, that's what, in fact, I'm trying to do with that bloody calf. He's like, create something that's actually real people getting back to work, real community experiences. But when you open it, of course, it's so sort of flooded with cameras and media.
Bloody turned into a bloody PR opportunity. I suppose. Okay, time to meet the press. Hello!
Hey guys, now, stand well back, not that far back. Come here, you stand, you bloody
I'm giving away one golden ticket to a clever child who can take over this cafe.
You'll run this. Now look at you. What are you, criminal scum of the earth? Why, have a calf. No, what do you mean? I'm a good guy, ain't I? I'm
You
just
are
trying
a
my
good
best. I'm
guy.
a good guy. I'm a good girl.
So come on, let's calm down. We've all gone up into a high gear.
Let's crunch back down through the
What
gears.
happened at
Let's
Jonathan
skid round the
Ross?
corner.
You went on a chat show.
Sat in that green room. You know I love Jonathan. He's
Yes.
my mate.
Yeah.
Of course, I love him. But like sat in that pretend green room, I don't like it. You know me, I don't know what to do with my face.
You don't. Now, there's a phenomenon called bitchy resting face or resting bitch face.
Ooh,
Which is when generally women, but I think it started from women.
Is
but
it
like,
someone going, like, would they say the word sugar, perhaps? Is it,
What?
well, like, is it like, What? Is that Richard?
Oh, that's something else.
What's that I'm doing? Is that racism?
I think so.
Fair
but
enough.
like, no, it's when.
What is a resting
Well,
bitch
if you
face?
shut up, I'll tell you.
Sorry.
It's when, like, a woman who's not, you know, when you're not thinking and your face is just doing what its natural sort of face would do, right?
Yeah.
It just sort of hangs there, being a face.
Yeah.
Some women and men have, like, I think I've got quite an angry resting face, right? So
When
what-
you're on screensaver.
Yeah, when your brain's not doing anything, what does your face do? Some women have a bitchy resting face, right? Your resting face, I'd call it a Charles Manson resting face.
Oh, no, what do you mean a Charlie Manson? Him with a swastika on his head? Him what they carried out all those Hollywood Hill
but without the
murders?
swastika. Let's not go too far.
He was
But this sort of
innovator.
crazed stare.
I do a crazed stare, do I?
Yeah.
My mind is never resting. My mind's always up to something, except when I'm in meditation. Sometimes that takes hours before I experience the inner divinity of true unity and oneness. I'll be sat there for ages thinking a right lot of codswallop for about an hour, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So when I'm on a chat show, actually what I'm experiencing, and much the same as when I was sat bolt upright at the Albert Hall, is I'm experiencing what I feel are supreme realities, or at least realities that are beyond the context of sitting on that bloody settee with Keanu there, Earth and Mo on the other side, Jonathan chattering away, audience, too much air conditioning, aware that everyone wants to go to the toilet, thinking, what is this meant to even be? What is this meant to
I think
even
most
be?
people
All
are
these
thinking
people
that
sat
all
on
the
a
time.
settee.
But then
all
they
day
think,
long, are
but
they?
they're thinking that, but they also think,
Get on board.
"Don't let my face go weird."
Let's have a look at everyone's face now. I mean, look, this podcast at least is an attempt to authentically communicate our experience of being alive from a humorous angle, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to stick that out. Occasionally I'll look out the window at the top of a bus to check myself in, look at the reflection of the building opposite bouncing off the top of the bus. All right, a little bit of street life. But when I'm in that, there's nothing real in that situation. The conversation isn't real, the interest isn't real.
Is it weird that, like, because you know Jonathan normally, like a person, then you have to go on, like, even the way that, obviously, you know, for the
pretend
show,
greeting,
your
even.
chair is angled to the audience, the whole thing. Hello, yeah, what are you up to? And
What's
all
it
that.
even meant to be? Well, I mean, like, you know, sort of like...
Entertainment.
No, but I mean, what is that situation? There's a man there behind a desk, and then there's a row of other people talking. I mean, what's its genesis? What's
It is weird, isn't it?
Imitating?
But then
what's
do you remember
it
when we've worked on shows that are essentially chat shows and we've gone, let's not do that? It doesn't really work because people are so used to seeing that
The
format.
visual grammar, yeah.
The desk, the visual grammar. You need that stuff. But
Apparently, in the early days of chat shows, Matthew, it weren't like that. Like when there was the show that preceded, and Jonathan Ross told me this, as a matter of fact, the show that preceded Johnny Carson, the big famous talk show in them days, or Ed Sullivan, even the one that preceded Ed Sullivan. Like at that time, they didn't really know what late night talk shows were, so they were still sort of practicing them and all of that kind of thing. And like when Castro done the Cuban Revolution, they said, "Oh, there's been a revolution over in Havana, so the show's live from Cuba tonight, and here he is, Fidel Castro." And then like a little while later, it came out he was a communist and enemy of America. He never just actually declared to be a communist, but. You know, it's like it was an open, free sort of format
Right.
before it became rigidly cityscape in the background, bloke sat behind a desk, people coming in and out, a couple of plants. You know,
I
like,
wonder when the first sort of interviews happened, because like in the Second World War, you didn't doorstep Churchill and go, "What are we going to do about this?"
"Hey,
You know,
Churchill, you want to stop smoking, buddy? You're drunk as a lord." Yeah,
They
it
must have just, like, he would just do broadcasting was sort of a magical thing, wouldn't it? You'd go
Have
and do
you heard, Matthew? That
it.
some say
them on the beaches.
that it's apparently not
Wasn't him.
even Churchill that did the...
He didn't write the speeches. Apparently, it weren't him that done the broadcast.
Is that true? He didn't do the speeches?
That's what I heard. Let's
I don't believe
look on the internet.
Yeah,
Look on the
there's-
internet, young Dan.
that-
Google it.
one
Did
of his-
Churchill do the
One of
thing?
Churchill's speeches is from a Jamaican poet.
Yeah, no, but did he read them out?
We'll be
That's what they're
smoking
saying.
ganja on the beaches.
Come on, get into it.
Everything's Irish.
No, was it Robin Day? Robin Day was one of the first great interviewers where he gave politicians a hard time.
Churchill.
Well, he was the first person
really?
that challenged
When
them.
they gave him
Grilled
like a
him.
real hard time, but a lot of them before they were just allowing them to
Blow
give
smoke
party
up 'em.
political broadcasts.
Right. Yeah.
Sir, what are your policies?
Yeah,
Thank you.
talking of party political podcasts, and we were. I saw that. Did you see the thing with the two, David Cameron and Ed Miliband?
Yeah, any good?
Paxman. Paxman's a monster.
Yeah.
He was really it was in favour of the Conservatives. The whole broadcast.
Was he?
Yeah, it was. No, the whole broadcast was.
I
They
heard
grilled
one
Ed
bit.
Miliband. They just sort of bullied him. He goes, "Some people say
You're a bit of a weed."
a North London geek," and things like that. He just said that to him,
That's
and then at the
anti-Semitic.
end, right, geek.
North London is a code for Jewish.
Do you think?
Yeah, it is.
All right, okay.
It's a-
Well, and then at the end, right, to make him sort of seem really weak and belittled, he went, "Are you all right? Are you really all right?" Like that, just as the sort of,
oh my
yeah.
god!
And I thought, well, that's just bullying.
I don't like that because I met that Ed Miliband once when I was an aristocrat for a couple of months. I met Ed Miliband and he seemed all right. Nice,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was across the table. He did.
I
seem
do
all right.
worry though about like President Putin. Like,
he's all
do you
right.
think? No, I don't mean I'm worried about him. I
He'll
love
be
him.
fine.
No, I
He's
just
tough
think
as old boots.
that Ed Miller.
He can take you. Don't worry about him, mate. He'll see us
I don't
all
want
in
him
the
to fall
ground.
off that horse. He hasn't
No.
got a top on. He might graze his booby. No, you think Ed Miliband's nice and all that stuff, but imagine he's got to make big decisions, and he's
He
got
ain't
to be in a
making no
room with
decisions.
Putin.
He's just got to do some admin. Putin will crush him with his elbow.
But that's what I'm saying. He's representing our country. We might get crushed.
Not representing it in any real way, not in any meaningful way. He can't do any proper
Here we go.
decisions.
You're not going to vote then?
What's the point? What for? I mean, I would if there was. It's not like as well. I don't mind people if they do vote. It's just like don't expect it to do anything. Play tennis if you want, but don't expect a new social system to emerge from your tennis. Doesn't do anything. It's disconnected from the actual reality. That's the spectacle of being on Jonathan Ross, the spectacle of opening a cafe, the spectacle of contemporary politics. I think when people are having a go at me, like they're sort of saying, voting should mean something. No, people died for it. It should mean something. And I agree that it should, but it don't. That's all I'm saying. Is like, well, what's actually going to happen? Like, right, a few Greens might get in and then they'll form a coalition, then they won't be able to get anything done. And it doesn't matter who, because it's systemically designed to prevent any actual change happening. The relationships are too entrenched. I don't think that anything real can happen. Just cast your mind back to before Blair, or cast your mind back to before Obama, or before Cameron, or before any of them, and then what happened? Oh, things basically carried on the same. You know what I mean? Like the days of people built the NHS, that's history. It's a different economic time. They didn't have the kind of opposition then, the kind of systems and global legislation that exists today.
I watched this thing the other day, and it was saying that the Americans had planned, they wanted to test the nuclear bomb, and they'd already had a plan of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It was 4 places they wanted to drop the bomb. Months before anything happened, they just wanted to do it, and Hitler wasn't developing a nuclear bomb at all. They just said that it wasn't true.
Oh my God! So just what could we say that would justify this? Say Hitler was doing it, but they just wanted to do it anyway.
Yeah. So when you see things from the other side and see, like, you know, maybe Russia and China and people like that probably see America as quite a scary nation.
Yeah,
politically, but that's not the people's fault.
I like Frankie Boyle's
that's what's
joke.
sad about it.
Frankie Boyle said, like, talking about the film American Sniper, he goes, American Sniper is Star Wars from the perspective of a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
That's, because they said a invading force into a nation of, like, loosely organised rebels fighting for them to keep their land and freedom. Yeah. There you go, Frankie Boyle, great comedian.
If the Empire was sort of secretly funding the Ewoks.
Ooh. They wouldn't... The Ewoks, you wouldn't be able to negotiate with those little idiots. They were disorganised.
Well, I was taking the analogy side of that more.
Right.
Don't sort of think about the practicalities
Chief
of giving
Chirper,
money to Ewoks.
Chief Chirper was a very poor leader.
Wicket E. Warwick.
I think you're right. The Chirper's policy. I mean, they're very ecologically friendly, the Ewoks, but the way they treat C-3PO like he was a sort of metal Jesus suggests to me they're not ready for high-level negotiation. Come on, Matt, let's do a jingle, and during that time, I'll think of a whole new item.
Listen to Russell and Matt, have a chit-chat, with thought-provoking ideas and compelling facts.
I've got nothing, baby, nothing. Who was that? That's the Chaz and Dave one that I love.
That was Veach87. Who's Chunky Mark?
Chunky Mark is a cab driver that does interviews in his cab, and he's sort of like a radical sort of lefty type guy, like, but sort of like he's like a cab driver, but interviews you about politics and stuff like that. And he's just got his iPhone mounted on his desk as if it was a sat nav thing.
So they don't know they've been interviewed?
No, you do know, because I went on it, and he's just like, he's a sort of a cult internet interviewer, and he drove me down the calf on that day and interviewed me. Because, I've done some mad things, we took over a newsagent's awning that used to say The Sun on it. We've replaced it with The Trues, right, because we spoke to the newsagent, said, you want to do it, and The Sun's contract expired. The Sun massively overreacted to it. Like, they're
publicly, or
not publicly, but by haranguing and bothering the newsagent Mo. Because I think that all that stuff's in a lot of trouble, all old media. And I don't think they know quite what to do. That's why they keep sort of lurching at me. But try as they might, I'm simply not a sex offender. So that there's nowhere they can't. It's like, oh God, this bloke's annoying. Like,
so hang on, the awning, the sort of like sign around a newsagent.
Around a newsagent. No, often it might say The Sun or The Mirror or whatever. We paid the geezer to put up true news, right, and the picture of the dog and everything. We did it through Max Kaiser, who does a thing on Russia Today, and he's got cryptocurrencies and all that. Yeah, he's a really intense guy.
Bitcoin, he's into Bitcoin and
Startcoin, his one's called. Yeah, but it's like
he
a
works for
cryptocurrency.
Russia Today. That basically is propaganda channel, isn't it?
Only in the same way that the BBC. He says that he's worked for the BBC, and he says that he has much less intervention working for Russia Today than he does working for the BBC. But I suppose if you were to look at it in a macro view, Russia Today would have a kind of, it's good to destabilise, Western countries or whatever. Yeah. So like people like. I could be on that Russia Today.
You are on there sometimes. They do cover you, because anything that's sort of like anti the West.
Well done, Mr. Brand. Well done.
Glasnost, perestroika. Mr. Brand is doing very well. We should support him and his Truth Newsagent campaign. Yeah, they disproportionately overreacted, the Sun.
But what did they do?
They kept hassling
Yeah,
Mo,
hassle you.
the newsagent. They got real leery with me. They printed a big angry review about the cafe. Going, the cafe's awful. The toilets are too small. And Nick said it's like bullying a mentally ill kid. So it's just like it doesn't come across good. The whole place
in the national newspaper?
yeah, like complain about it. So it's getting drug addicts back to work. It's for the community. All the old ladies from there make like a pasta bake or whatever and stick their own music on in there. It's like such a friendly, chummy little venture in its early days. And this is like what the News International waded into it. I've got this amazing idea that I can't even tell you about on the radio that could have such powerful ramifications that I think over the next 12 months we could collapse a major corporation. I'll tell you about it off air. God, it's sexy. It's literally...
And he was killed later that day in the car.
It's so sexy, Matthew. You'll love it when I tell you. You'll love it. You'll love it. Yeah.
Sorry to the listeners.
Yeah, because they'll find out when major corporations start collapsing. And old Russ marches about in a big pair of welly boots. Please, just punch.
There'll be a huge Trues building.
Cropping up all over the gaff. No, we don't replace it with the same thing. Replace it with something all nice. So, all right, I can tell you right. So you're that newsagent.
So hang on, Murdoch, Occupy Murdoch, right? Is things like that.
Yeah, I went down there, see them late at night after I left you lot. Drinking. I went down to Occupy Murdoch.
Sounds horrible. It sounds like a load of people living in an old man's bum.
To tell the truth, that'd have been nice because it'd have been warmer. It was freezing.
I don't know if it is warm in Murdoch.
It's a chilly up Murdoch's bum.
Old snake.
There's a cobweb shedding his skin for up there. Some gristly, dried old bit of coverage.
Who's back there?
Hey, who's get out of the cave! Hey, you've no business being in there. Step away.
Is that you, Blair?
Blair, get back out. I've told you never again. After what you done to Wendy. With his wispy old grey flossy pubes. Fuck, wait, you leave that in. No, I had to turn around. There's a young Dan Quick there. He's a young lad.
pubes.
Galore. Yeah, Flossy. Flossy. I imagine they
think about that.
Like old seaweed, all dangly down, like old seaweed, all dangly tangled, all bum seaweed on Rupert Murdoch. So if he doesn't like you taking over one of his newsagent signs, that's going to really wind him up. Us having the image there.
Surely, but hang on. How long do you think he will live for? He's an older man.
I think he's made a pact with Mephistopheles. He might go on forever. I mean, that's what I heard about him from someone who used to work for him. He said that Rupert Murdoch thinks he ain't going to die. So if you say no to him, like he would just say, you'll come round. Yeah, in time I'll get what I need from you.
Could he be? Is he really evil, or is he?
No, he's probably quite nice. I've heard people that say he's alright. I mean, like, he's a human being, isn't he? So he's the same basically as us. But I don't know. I mean, he's gone quite deep into the old system.
Yeah,
might be hard for him to see.
So what's his end game like to control governments?
Seems like it, doesn't it? I mean, I do wonder about this Illuminati mob. If you are in the Illuminati, could you send us an email, Russell and Matt at Audio Boom? Could you put in the subject, I'm in the Illuminati and I want to come clean? I mean, it would be like Scientology, wouldn't it? Some people somewhere would go, look, I used to be in the Illuminati, but I'm all right now. I used to be Illuminati, but I'm all right now. Type thing. They'd come out, wouldn't they, and say, it's agged me out being in the Illuminati.
I don't know about the Illuminati, but there does seem to. Well, there is that's true, isn't it? How many media companies run the newspapers? Isn't it
5 in America, 80% by 6 or 5 people in this country.
Yeah.
The Bilderberg Group's a real thing that meets every year and sort of that influences at a level of policy.
Meetings.
The TTIP, which everyone knows about, TTIP means that corporations will be able to prosecute any nation that prevents them making profit. They're trying to get that thing through now, and conduct proceedings in private
who seems
courts.
all right. Why would he be pushing that?
Obama, I can't get my head around that bloke. He seems ever so nice, doesn't he? Whenever you see him,
It must just be someone said to him, "If you don't do this,
come in, sit down. Here's the score."
You'll be shot.
Yeah, it can't be easy once you're president of the United States. Why don't we talk about something a bit easier to understand? I opened a little nursery. I opened a child's nursery school.
Who, you did, or are you reading something out?
No, I did it. And I am also reading something out, because that reminded me of I've got some things to say that aren't so gallingly controversial. And those things are, I opened a children's nursery down East London.
Yeah.
I'm carrying on like I'm a mayor. I open nurseries, I open a cafe.
Cut a ribbon, did you?
No, I don't like to do things like that. I just open the door in a practical way because I'm against the spectacle. I'm trying to keep things real, aren't I? So I just open the door.
So you open the door of a nursery?
That's right.
They asked me
there
to
any
leave
press
shortly. No, it's only a little nursery round the corner.
Keep saying it's little. No one thinks of a nursery as being big.
Not one of your vast conglomerate nurseries run by Sainsbury's or Texaco's. No, this was a little one, authentic. And the people in there, not businessmen. but
They were little too.
tiny little people that had only just begun to learn talking, for example. Ibn and Ibn and Obin.
Well,
and
you were they invited you and went, oh, let's get him to open it.
open up the new. It wasn't even the entire nursery, actually. It was just a new bit of a nursery that weren't even that big.
What?
I mean, I should have turned it down, to tell you the truth. They went, open this new bit of the nursery, and I just gave a short speech about community. The deputy head, called Joy, was leaving, and the new head, Felicity, was starting. Both those words mean happiness. I used that as a link, and off we went. So there you go, Matthew. That's what I've done. Then I've done some colouring in with a little kid called Amber, and there was one bit where Frankie, who's my friend's kid, turned to Amber and goes, are we friends? I'd much rather just spend my time hanging out with children who say things like that. That's not bullshit, is it? It's a genuine inquiry and expression of love.
Yeah.
Everything else is simulacrum.
Russ, Matt, G Audio Boom.
How would you get... Because I sometimes think, what about an authentic life? And I think to live an authentic life, you'd have to be feeding yourself off the land, going to find water. Like, we live in a hunter-gatherer body and no one does that anymore. You don't have to expend calories to get food. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think the simple pleasures. Imagine you caught some food, cooked it, ate it, you'd feel good. You'd get a feedback from the universe. You'd be at one with the environment. If you were living outside, you'd start to recognise animal calls and stuff. You'd start... Now, you'd have to give up a lot, but...
The more your life emulates those conditions, the happier you become. You know, the more you sort of think when you're exercising or eating well, when you feel like you've got an integral relationship with the world, like you recognise stars, you recognise food.
So why don't they, instead of having a gym, right, why don't they have something with an ostrich in it and everyone chases the ostrich?
Well, I'll answer that firstly by telling you that it would be cruel to chase a captive ostrich just for the purposes. I went to a climbing centre.
Yeah, was there an ostrich there?
But
But
it felt more like nature because it was clambering up a wall. They put different things on the, the wall, different colour things you could clamber up there.
see, that's good, climbing.
Organic cafe there, they grow food. The whole place looks like a castle. I mean, yeah, you're right. I think that what's happened is your whole life feels like a simulation. The whole life is, you think, well, what is it that what's the purpose of me? What do I do? I come to think of how many people's jobs don't do bugger all. You know what I mean? People, if your job's not really about providing food or keeping people safe or tending to the land, I mean, God, at best we can say we provide entertainment and perhaps provoke one or two questions. But if you're not actually, everything is a sort of a shadow, a reflection.
Yeah, what's the point?
Well,
I suppose it all
could
builds
say there ain't
up
one.
and then it all falls over and then we're back to being hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, what
was that Einstein quote? I'm not sure what the Third World War will be fought with, what sort of technology the Third World War will be fought with, but the Fourth World War will be fought with sticks and stones. Scary, isn't it?
That's old Einstein.
Old Einstein said that. And sort of, he invented nuclear weapons.
So he's actually part of the bloody problem.
Yeah.
Instead of making wisecracks about sticks and stones, stop arming the world with the technical capacity to destroy itself. Comb your hair.
No.
No, that's one of the best bits we like, that.
Stick the tongue out.
Grow up a little bit. Stop scribbling on that backboard.
Actually, he was around, wasn't he, at the same sort of time as Marilyn Monroe and things?
Go on, quiz me then.
What?
Quiz me.
About Marilyn Monroe?
Well, no, not bad. I don't know anything about us.
All right.
Quiz me. We said it was a real breakthrough, you said, when we talked about my Hollywood life.
Right. I want to know about celebrities you've interacted with since we've been
It's
off
a
the
bit
air.
vague, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to suggest them.
Go
Tom
on.
Jones. Not Tom Jones.
I did interact with Tom Jones.
Did you?
I was staying in a very...
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, we done him. I was staying in a posh hotel in London for too long. I lost it. I was like a posh Alan Partridge. I lost my way living in that hotel, living on room service.
You did live there for a long time.
A long while I was in there. Long while. Lost myself. Lovely
Set
place.
up a little shrine on one of the windowsills, didn't you? With
I had set up a shrine.
little knickknacks and pieces of soot.
There we go, my little gods, my little lords. I worship you, Lord. You take me safe.
Box car.
That's nice. I've had you a long time, Hot Wheels.
Yeah, go on.
And, well, I was going down the lift. I was off to work or something, and I ran into Tom Jones's son, who's a lot like Tom Jones.
That's not a very good celebrity story.
Wait up, man. this ain't the end of the tale. This tale's going to take you on a giddy ride.
So how would you know it was Tom Jones's son?
Because he's a bit like Tom Jones. It's like that. Hello, Russell. You want to come and see Tom Jones?
Apologise to our listeners in Wales.
You want to come and meet Tom? He's in his room.
He talks like that.
That's it.
Yeah.
The son's more or less. I'll be the son, you be Tom Jones. You want to come meet Tom Jones in the room?
What is wrong with you, boy?
Sorry, Dad, I've had to grow up in your shadow. It's sent me over the handshake. So, like, he went and he goes to me, do you want to come say hello to Tom Jones?
Come say hello.
Well, I think it was more, come say hello to Tom Jones.
Hello.
I goes, I'm in a bit of a... You know when you're in a bit of a rush? You don't have time.
Oh, God, don't tell me you said no.
I tried to say no. I said, I'm in a bit of a rush. And he goes, oh, no, you won't
Tom
wait.
Jones, let me think.
Tom Jones.
No, I don't think so. Are
I-
you any relation of his?
No.
I'm just his PA. Why are you crying?
He goes, come and say hello to him. And I was like, I'm a bit rushed. And then it seemed like it would be impolite not to go. So I went.
Yes.
Right.
It was impolite to say I'm in a rush.
Right.
You should have just gone, yes.
Yes, I would like to say hello to Tom Jones. Well, and
He
he
used
took
to hang around with Elvis. You could have asked him about that.
Elvis's favourite singer. Then I went into Tom Jones's bedroom.
What?
It was a suite. So
That progressed quickly.
Tom Jones weren't there. He was in a different room. So I was in the room just with the son, and I was waiting around.
Right.
And then he goes, Dad, I've got a visitor here for you. And then Tom Jones came out in my mind.
Who the fuck is that?
He was drying his hair, I think. Like, I think he
Was
came
he?
out of a shower with like a towel around his waist, sort of drying his hair. And then his son goes, here we go, it's Russel Brand. And he went, oh, hello. And then it was just like a silence. Like he didn't need me there.
Well,
And
you
I-
didn't.
Right, and I didn't need to be there. So I'd like, why have I got to conjure up something to talk about?
What, so who took the weight off the situation?
Tom Jones' son just blasted his way through it, trying to create some awkward bridge of Welsh words between the pair of us.
Really? What, they started talking in Welsh?
Oh, some cases.
I don't talk to black, you Lila.
Oh, collect the cousin.
Get him out.
Is there a place where you get your driving license from?
I was Alex Zane.
Justin Lee Collins. Yeah, just after that cleared off.
Oh, well, that's a nice story.
There you go. So that's Tom Jones, and that just came out of a mistake.
Well, let's do other famous Toms.
I mean, the story, not the son.
And how many other mistakes have there been over the years?
Too many to see. No
Other
offence, that's
Toms.
just
What
some
other-
jokes.
Any other Toms you've met?
What, with Toms?
Well, no,
That's
because I
what
was
this
about
radio
to
show
say
comes
Tom
to.
Cruise. I said Tom Jones, and that led to something. So maybe we could we'll go through names every week. Do you want to move to a different name?
Yeah. I've done
All right.
2 Toms.
Stephen
Hawking, no.
Seagal. We met him once.
He
'cause
came on a
our
radio show. I mean, now that's
right.
radio.
Let's go
One
back.
minute he's in the car, on the phone. By the end of the show, he's there in the room. Steven Seagal.
You
Usher
couldn't
through the
make it
door.
up. All right, what films have you done? Let's go through the films. Do you remember?
I mean, I try not to think about it. To tell you the absolute truth. Well, who do you want a story
I
about?
want some good celebrity Hollywoods. Let's go back to Hollywood, baby.
Let's go back, way back to
Right.
Hollywood. P. Diddy.
Yes, let's have some P. Diddy. Didn't you fly around with him for a while in his
Yeah,
private plane?
it was very awkward.
Why?
Because I couldn't think of anything to say. Like, the fact is, you know me, I'm not really into all that. I like the end points, the drugs and the sex, the stuff that people do to get there. I'm not really that interested in.
What were you doing with P. Diddy to lead to drugs and sex?
Nothing. That's why I was bored. Flying about in a bloody jet. You go in a scarf that was too long that he insisted I wear.
Really?
I want you to arrive in a. I can't do a P. Diddy voice. I mean, I don't know how he talks.
Yeah.
If
Just
you-
do him as Tom Jones.
I want you to arrive in a scarf that's too long.
He didn't say that.
He said to me, like, he goes, yeah, come to the, he goes, do you want to go to Vegas and watch Ricky Hatton fight Manny Pacquiao? I goes, yeah. And he went, all right, you get the tickets. And I was
Ooh.
like, yeah?
Yeah.
That's a throwdown.
That is, isn't it?
I goes, no problem, my mate's with Ricky Hatton.
What's he doing? Trying to test your celebrity sort of powers?
It was a test of some kind. P. Diddy, he was testing me.
Right.
He goes, I'll get the jet, you get the tickets.
I love it.
Yeah. And then I goes, all right, I'll try and get the tickets. So I rang up Noel Gallagher. I goes, gives Ricky Hatton's phone number. I'm trying to get tickets for Puff Daddy to go and watch some boxing fighting. He goes, there you go. I called Ricky Hatton's phone number. Ricky Hatton's not answering the phone. He's worried about doing a boxing match against Manny Pacquiao.
Was this not on the morning of the match?
It's a couple of days before.
Call it a fight.
Bout. And then I called up Ricky Hatton. He don't answer the phone. And then I had to go back to the P. Diddy. I ain't got them tickets. You got them tickets? I had to go, oh, no, I ain't got them yet. Like that. And then I had to carry on the search for tickets. So I was asking people in like the music industry, PR industry, casino industry. 7th row I got. That's not enough for P. Diddy.
No way.
He wants to be in the 2nd or 3rd row, he explained to me.
What about the first? Does want to get sweat and blood.
Sweat and blood. Let that Jay-Z can soak that up, he said. So, like, in the end, I got 7th row, and then in the end, Puff Daddy got the tickets from some other source. I had to fly in a private jet.
He always had them. He was drumming his fingers on them, on the desk.
Well,
in his
chewing
office.
a toothpick, drumming his fingers.
You get the tickets, see what he can come up with.
The whole thing was a test, you're saying, from Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
Now.
He was checking if you were one of them.
Oh, that's why I'm not been invited, because I failed the Illuminati quiz.
Yeah.
Then so in the end, I went with Puff Daddy to Vegas. He put music on the aeroplane, like it was a little aeroplane. He put music on.
What's that like?
No.
So you don't have to go through any sort of
that is
America
good.
to America.
So
So can you drive
drive
straight?
onto the thing?
Oh.
You don't have to check nothing. You don't have to put your seatbelt on. You can play with your phone.
Oh.
So all that's a lie. Seatbelts and phone playing with. That's
Well,
not
it's nice
necessary.
the plane starts going through turbulence. You might want your seatbelt on, but the phone thing.
And the seatbelt thing.
No, don't start telling people not to put
Don't
the
bother,
seatbelts on.
man! Fight the system! No, I mean, like, obviously...
What's it like on it? Is it his plane or does he hire it?
I think he blagged it. It's like being in a little leather thing. I suppose because the average rich... I suppose because the average rich person's most likely from Saudi Arabia, it's Saudi Arabian aesthetics dominates
really?
it. Beige
Yeah.
leather, beige-looking things that look vaguely Arabian in terms of the aesthetic.
What are toilets like?
Nice toilets, nice little toothbrushes and tiny bits of toothpaste in little bags, nice little flannels, nice little things, a flower in a vase, that kind of stuff. Nice little sweets, things like that. You can ask what any food
Can you
want.
go and see the pilot?
He's fine. You can pop in there, say hello to him if you want. Pop into the old cockpit.
Yeah.
And then minute that's done, etc., etc. So then we got to Vegas, and then he dragged us around. We got to the hotel. I think I might have helped finding the hotel with a connection I had to Planet Hollywood
Gotta have
for a
given
brief
something.
time. I've got to cough up something, can I, for Diddy?
I'm in charge of snacks.
Now, Piddy, would you like a blue ribbon? Because I've got as many of those as you can eat.
I've got Kit Kats. I've got penguins.
Okay, I can't get skips, Diddy. I'm afraid that's gonna be a challenge. I do apologise.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we went to the boxing match, which I didn't like. Puff Daddy jumping up and down all over the chairs.
I think didn't we speak about this before? And you said it was quite violent.
Yeah, I didn't like boxing because I felt bad for Ricky Hatton getting punched up by Pacquiao like that. You don't mess about. And then we had to go off somewhere else. Like Jay-Z was there. Like Jay-Z, shook hands with Jay-Z. He goes, "You're a lucky
His
man."
lifestyle's wasted on you. Then we had to go somewhere else.
They're-
Jay-Z was there. I hadn't had any dinner. No one had offered me anything.
I lost my dinner money, and then I left my brace in the toilet, so I had to go back next day and I couldn't find my bloody brace, could I?
Lost my PE kit.
So I had to do it in my pants. And Lil Wayne come in and he pinched me on the back of the legs. Actually, Lil Wayne has, prior to this, I like Lil Wayne.
Do you?
He's
Is he the one with tattoos on his face?
Yeah, long dreadlocks,
he's
tattoos
cool.
on his face. Crunk he likes to drink. I think it's cough mixture. I think they like to drink cough mixture and call it crunk.
Crunk means crazy drunk.
I think it's a thing that he drinks out of a goblet called crunk and it's cough mixture. I'd ask for some research. But
What?
trying to break your arm.
Really?
Crunk.
He drinks crunk out of a goblet. And
Out
it's
of a
cough
goblet and
mixture.
it's cough mixture.
Well, that's not very pop starish, is it? Sounds tragic, apart from the goblet.
That's the sort of thing Alan Bennett would do in his mum's back garden.
Yeah. He'd keep it down the shed.
I drink some cough mixture. Mother's wails are welcome.
Dizzy on crunk.
I'm crunked off me nut. Have another egg cup full in the
Have a
morning.
crank.
I'm so crunked up. Okay. Crunk juice. Here is some research. A drink composed of Red Bull, Hennessy, originated by Lil Jon and Lil Jon of the East Side Boys. This may not be your normal energy drink, they say, but together it's crunk juice. Can't you Google...
You defamed him with your cough mixture.
I know, it weren't even him. It's someone called Lil Jon, who I believe is a journalist for the Daily Mail. Now, could you Google Lil Wayne cough mixture?
Yeah, let's really ruin this guy's career.
I think what you'll come up with is some home truths.
What's in cough mixture? It used to be...
Some of it used to be ice. Codeine, yeah.
Ice?
Nice. Codeine, like ones that you can separate them.
Street then.
I
used to move ice. I used to move ice out of Brooklyn.
I moved quite a lot of weight back in the day, yes. Shifting stones.
Remember when we filmed with those drug addicts and they would refer to drugs as brown and white?
Yeah, brown and white.
Is that what? Is that
one of each?
I thought they'd made that up.
You want both? That's what people say. Get one of each. Bit of both.
Brown and white.
In the end, it starts to sound like a couple of nans in a calf talking about life.
Yeah.
Should I have a brown and a leather white?
Push the boat out, shall we?
The white to take you up, the brown to take you back down again. The two of them quarrelling in your brain box.
They are. What comes up if you do Lil Wayne cough mixture? Congratulations, you have libelled Lil Wayne by trying to associate him with cough mixture, but he's a fine man. On Sunday night, during a concert in Newark, New Jersey, Wayne explained to the audience that sipping syrup, a combination made up chiefly of promethazine and codeine, which is supposed to be prescribed by doctors for severe colds and pneumonia, is part of the culture here in the South, although Philadelphia is also notorious for syrup. He also talks about how he gets flack for it. I've been criticised for the things I chose and things I've chosen to do, he said at the show. But what I tell him, the sample from I Feel Like Dying kicked in, and a shirtless Wayne shook his dreads as thousands of fans sung along. If you do what the F you want to do, say yeah, he yelled. And if that includes drinking cough mixture...
syrup. I like that. Oh, it's an old sipping syrup.
Oh, I'll take a sipping syrup, my boy. Yeah, go fetch me a swish from the yard and get me some sipping syrup.
Next week, I will try that on the air. Oh, no, actually, next week, we're not here.
You're not having sipping syrup?
No, I don't want it.
Yeah, I've got to go to Morocco now.
Bye. Russell's got to go to Morocco for a week.
To pretend to be God in a film with Nick Cage.
You want to talk about that? Larry Charles?
Charles, Nick Cage.
Larry Charles is the director, isn't he? He directed
of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Borat. Curb Enthusiasm. So,
but that'd be plenty for us to talk about next time. But until then, let's balance a walnut on the microphone and drink some bloody cough medicine.
No, we got to explain that next week.
Oh, it's going to be a.
Yeah, we did some pilots before this.
By God, they were good.
Can't you tell that this has been rehearsed and finessed?
You don't think you just land at this level of professionalism? No, you effing well don't. What happens is weeks of piloting, research, nuances. The belly bounce was actually written by Graham Linehan, the Father Ted writer. He came up with the belly bounce.
Brilliant idea.
Thank you, Graham. I mean, remember, in the initial... I mean, originally, it was intended to be Dylan Moran was going to play the part of belly bounce.
And so, yeah, well, what we're going to do is those two shows will be cut together, bits and pieces, stuff, you know, that was...
Couple of links, bit of... How's your father?
And then a week
what
after
do you want
that,
for free?
we'll be back.
Right,
yeah?
Brilliant. Love it. Well, we could probably even only miss one.
Unless Russell falls in love with someone in Morocco and...
Which is not...
Is
that
see him again? Oh, of course not. But we don't
Abdul, you're a fine-looking young man.
You're not the best rent boy in this country.
Get him to me. Get him here now.
OK, well, Mr. G, why don't you try and summarise all of this using rhyming words in the form of a poem?
OK, this poem's called The Greeting of Pretense. This world will test all of your opinions. It sets assignments for your views. As past letters form future tweets, we plagiarize the old to become the new. For reality will always need recording, revolution hiding in plain sight. Do we only wake up and smell the coffee if served with the validation of cameras and mics? Yet unknown faces get arrested, frozen by the spectacle lens, as visual grammar occupies our headlines, keeping us strapped in our seatbelts. We grew up with Star Wars figures, ignoring the stormtroopers at our doors. Somehow can we escape this crunked-up madness and not be the droids they're looking for?
Woo! Yes, G!
Yes.
What you've provided us there with is a climax, a climactic ending. Matt, are you happy with the show?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic.
You don't look it. You look peeved.
I know, well, I've got a bitchy resting face.
Ah, good stitch back. Bye.
With that, they were gone.
None of those men were ever seen again.
Brought to you by Audio Boom.